Assalamu alaikum. I'm at the Dawah workshop today. Found it very beneficial. It's increased my knowledge with various different topics of Islam. I hope it helps me perfect my Dawah for the upcoming Discover Islam.
MashaAllah, like always, Nasar's done an awesome job. It's very different than the previous Dawah workshops we've had, and it's been great. It's like you're interacting with people, you're making Dawah alive in a way, and Jazakallah khair for everything. Thank you.
So Alhamdulillah, I've been to a couple of Dawah workshops before, so this it's been opened my eyes in terms of actually how to speak to people in terms of is akhlaq, in terms of speaking to people, in terms of akhlaq, and actually wording things in a particular way that's actually that's not just the academic way, but in terms of actually speaking to them on a personal level.
The need for religion. So your name is?
Abbas.
Abbas.
Yeah.
So assalamu alaikum, Brother Abbas. That is the Islamic greeting, isn't it?
Yes.
Did I say it right?
Yes.
Thank you very much. Thank you for shaking with your right hand as well, not the dirty hand. Now, you're from the Muslim faith, is that correct?
Yes.
And you believe that there is some sort of creator and being that we can't all see,
Right.
who sent prophets and individuals who were divinely inspired, as you claim.
Right.
But after all of this has happened, and you claim hundreds of thousands of prophets, as you call them, came to humanity one after another, and now they've all seemed to have stopped.
Right.
Why is that?
So thank you for actually telling us that there's actually been hundreds of thousands of prophets. Yeah, so we do believe in prophets from Adam. Yes. So we as a collective religion. Yeah.
Okay.
So from Adam, Noah, Moses, Jesus, and we believe Muhammad, peace be upon him, was the final messenger and the prophet and the seal of prophets. Throughout history, there's been eras. So, for example, one of the first books actually came down. I'll give you an example. Moses came down with the Torah.
Right.
Jesus, peace be upon him, came down with the Bible.
Right.
David alayhi salam came down with the Psalms, and Muhammad, peace be upon him, came down with the Quran.
So I can follow Jesus then, because he was given a book by God, and we still have his book. So why only one prophet? Why do you reject all these people? So calling them kuffar, is that the term that you use?
So even we'll come back to kuffar in a sec. And
you want to come back to them?
And actually
we're ignoring them.
And the actual meaning of the word kuffar and the actual origination of that.
Right. But for the 60 million people who are watching, you don't care about.
But for now, I'll speak to you about it a bit later. Okay. But in terms of actually the guidelines actually set down. Okay, as a medic, so there's actually
medic or a sheikh?
So I'm a medic.
Okay. Yeah, okay. And a sheikh?
Well, I'm not sure. Well,
wow.
Okay. Okay. So there's actually guidelines. So there's data guidelines. So for example,
data guidelines.
Data guidelines. Yes. So in 2003, there's a guideline for, let's say, asthma. In 2004, a new guideline came out. And now coming to 2011, there's the latest guideline.
So why is there not a new prophet then?
In the same way, I'll come back to this.
In the same way, there should be a new prophet.
In the same way,
1400 years
the guidelines that actually has been coming out.
Right.
So Moses came down with the Torah, which was the initial guideline for that era.
Who was the first prophet to be sent with a book?
As I know, yes.
Wow.
Okay. Then
you have thousands of scholars who may disagree with your faith. They claim that other prophets came out of a book before that.
Right, that's fine.
Wow.
Okay, that's fine.
So you ignore all those previous prophets.
Right. Okay.
You have nothing to do with them.
Okay, 1 second. 1 second. Let's answer each question
I asked
individually.
you about why is it that I cannot follow Jesus, and it's been quite a few minutes now.
Which is why I'm actually explaining to you. Yeah, as I said, the guidelines. So as I'm saying, there's guidelines you have to follow. You have to follow the initial guideline, second guideline, and the final guideline that came down, which is the Quran.
Right.
That's the final guideline. It's the last guideline you have to follow. You can't follow a previous guideline because that's an outdated guideline.
Right.
And this is the era that we're living in now.
Right.
And this guideline is the final one.
The final one.
Yes. And
now there are Muslims who do claim that there have been guidelines after that, but you claim them to be quote unquote evil, treacherous, deviant people.
Right, okay.
And these people say that there was a prophet and he lived and he came and he brought peace to humanity. He made peace with the Western world.
Right.
And in fact he came and he spread Islam in our country as well. Why is it that you hate the Qadianis?
Right, okay. So
they have contributed to Britain for a very long time.
Right, okay.
They don't bomb our places of worship.
Right,
They don't
hold on.
take over our streets
Hold on,
and implement Sharia law.
Are you saying that Muslims in general actually cause bombing and just general population cause
I'm
bombing?
asking who caused 7/7?
Right. Well,
Was
you
it a
say
rabbi in
Muslim,
disguise?
right, okay.
Must have
But
been.
look, if that was the case, if every Muslim followed and believed that you should actually go on bombing, how about these 2 million Muslims that live in the West today as peaceful society?
I'm not sure it's peaceful driving a car into Glasgow Airport.
Right, how many Muslims
With a
were
bomb.
there? How many of them were there?
Well, it seems to be growing by the week. It seems.
How many? Well, please tell me how many were there.
Well,
You're
we
very
get reports
educated
from the
on it.
BBC, from Al Jazeera. Your own news stations are reporting these people going and taking over our streets. In London, in the heart of Britain, in London, you have Sharia streets where one can't walk without Sharia clothing.
Right.
Isn't this taking over a country that welcomed you people to their land?
Right. Okay. Like I said, there's so many Muslims. You're actually looking at the minority and forgetting about the majority.
Right.
Okay.
The growing minority.
What's this? Does it get evidence for this?
The number of reports, the number of people imprisoned every week
Okay.
on
These are the
charges
reports.
of terrorism, and terrorism plots that are stopped by Scotland Yard every 2 weeks. Do you not watch the news?
I do watch the news. I do watch the news, but
Right.
there's
So
only
you must be aware of them.
Okay, I am aware of them, but like you said, there's only a couple. Okay, stop right here. Pause this TV show.
Pause in front of 60 million people.
Okay.
You clearly have not much to say. Thank you for your time.
Okay, shukran.
Thank you for being on and
Shake your hand.
sharing,
Okay, no worries. Shukran.
and sharing your views with us today. I'm sure the rest of Britain is much more aware of Islam.
Right, okay.
Thank you very much. Okay, thank you very much. So, welcome to our show today, Nargis. Today we're talking about freedom of expression. Your religion has a lot to say about freeing mankind from the traps of the devil and the Western world, about freeing human beings from European influences, and freeing us from worshipping things to worshipping God. Is that not true?
Okay, well, first of all, I'll say that in our religion, we've obviously been given a set of, you could say, guidelines and way to live our lives. So we would like to, stick to that because we think that that's going to be the best way for us to be good people and to live our lives in this world. And there are certain things that in Western culture that we don't think they're right for us to do. And to be honest, I don't even see a problem in why we shouldn't be following, I don't see what would be wrong with not following that,
Right.
We're not, as a religion, we're just trying to live, our own lives, and, we do want others to...
So you're not concerned about spreading a religion?
No, of course I am, but...
Right. So you want others to adopt your doctrine?
Well, the thing is, that's personal choice, and, as a religion, we have an obligation to try and spread it, and say...
Spread all over Britain?
The thing is,
Would you like the Prime Minister to become Muslim?
Well, I don't see why there would be anything wrong with the Prime Minister being
Really?
Muslim, but...
The Christian Protestant church might have something to say about that. Now, you say that you're very open and everything's welcoming, but you
can
don't...
I just say something to that? At the end of the day, if you have, for example, the Prime Minister, people are going to elect that. If they don't want their Prime Minister to be a Muslim, there's nothing wrong with that. But that person should have the choice of what religion they want to follow.
Right. And if the Prime Minister was Muslim, would he have to implement the Sharia law?
The thing is, that law is for his own life.
He's a leader of a country.
He's the leader of a country, and to be honest, most of the laws that we have are laws that, it's one with other religions. Islam...
It seems very different, actually, your religion from other religions. The Christians have adopted over the ages the Reformation of the Church. The Jewish faith has also become accommodating. The Buddhists have been accommodating of all the things that their own people want to move on to. But for some reason, the Muslims seem to be stagnant in history. Why is that? Why can't you move with the times? Your own people, you have a large community of homosexuals in Oldham, who are claiming that we can now continue to follow our faith whilst fulfilling our sexual orientation. But you seem to have a problem with that. Why is that?
Okay, well, first of all, I'd like to say that Islam was a religion that, to begin with, we had many prophets, and our last prophet, it was with him that we, were sent down the Quran,
Right.
and we believe this is the final and best message.
Right.
That
Your
is-
scholars also say that the Quran and the way of the Prophet has been interpreted over time. Do you agree with that?
Well, there are, it's false for me to say that there aren't people who have different interpretations, but
Right.
the main messages are all the same. So,
Right. Now we have a selection of scholars of your faith, people respected in the community, who are challenging one particular aspect of Islam also related to marriage, and that is of Muslim women marrying non-Muslim men. For some reason it's okay for men to do it, but not for women. And this has kind of been debated, and now there are scholars who are there in Oxford and other parts near London who are allowing these women, giving them a salvation to be at peace with their partners in life. But they're coming under a lot of criticism from the rest of the Muslims. Why is that? If this is something that's acceptable to the Sharia law according to these scholars, then why is it that they're coming under criticism?
Okay. To be honest with you, I'm probably not the best person to give you the best answer for that, because
Right.
I don't know too much about marriage and that kind of thing.
Okay. But you have no problem with their interpretation?
Well, the thing is, I only have a certain amount of knowledge. I'm not going
Right.
to say an answer that...
So you're happy with it?
No, I'm not saying I'm happy with it at all.
So you accept it?
No,
You don't accept
I'm
it?
saying that...
You do like it, you don't like it. It's very simple. It's a yes and no question.
Well, I can't give you an answer that...
You don't have
If
many
I-
answers. So the truth is really that whenever Islam comes under a challenge or somebody presents a new idea that conforms with the desires of the Muslim people, there's this huge reaction. We saw from the scholars of Deoband recently that they said it's impermissible for a Muslim woman to work in a reception, and other scholars are saying that it's impermissible for Muslim men to do certain jobs, and there's so many restrictions in your faith, and everybody's claiming to hold the truth. Who actually holds the truth?
Can I firstly ask which, there's only a very small number of jobs that you're saying that we wouldn't do, like if I was working in a pub or something, of course we wouldn't do that.
What about receptions?
Well, the thing is, personally, obviously this is my own view, I don't see a problem with, working in reception. If you're conforming to your faith, I don't see... It depends what you're doing, I guess, really.
So you disagree with those scholars?
Well, I'm sure those scholars didn't just say that. They probably said
It was very
what situation.
clear in their fatwa. Now, from the aspects of religion, you say that when one becomes Muslim and begins to adopt their faith, they must submit their mind and body to whatever the teachings of that faith are, that are interpreted by men over hundreds of generations. Now, why should somebody come and submit themselves to what is essentially a man-made religion?
The thing is, we don't believe it is a man-made religion.
You say scholars reinterpret the Quran, scholars reinterpret the way of the Sunnah, scholars reinterpret the actions and the things that can be done. Reinterpret. Why is it that it changes? Why is it people are against this issue of Muslim women marrying non-Muslim men?
Okay, first of all, with Islam, like I said, all the the main messages, if you look at the interpretations from what I know to my knowledge, it isn't so significant that
it's quite a departure.
Well, the thing is, you would have to, for me to be able to answer that clearly to you, I'd have to go and learn about all those different interpretations, which
So
at the moment I don't know every single interpretation there is at the moment. But can you just say what the rest of that question was again?
I said, essentially, you're asking calling people, as you will be in the coming week, to submit their intellect to what is essentially a man-made religion. Why is that?
Well, that's the thing I'm saying.
Why should I give up my thoughts and ideas for somebody else's?
I don't believe it is a man-made religion. The Quran, since it was brought down, it hasn't actually changed at all.
But the following of it and the interpretation of it has been written down by men afterwards.
That is, that's
the
essentially...
practical sides of your faith are all man-made. Is that not true?
The thing is, with the Quran, it hasn't changed. You're saying that there are different interpretations.
Right.
But with...
we'll end it on that. Exactly. Okay, you did very well.